A series of atmospheric rivers has caused storm damage to infrastructure throughout Santa Cruz County. The wharf in Capitola was broken in half by a powerful storm surge. Currently, over 5,000 people remain without power, and initial damage estimates from the storm are over $20 million. This all comes as another powerful storm is set to make landfall on Monday. As Santa Cruz residents start to pick up the pieces, officials are warning them to be prepared for emergencies, power outages and high water, and the need to evacuate on short notice after another potential round of flooding. Here are 7 things you need to know about the Santa Cruz storms. Number 1. The kind of damage the storms have caused. It's a profound impact across the county. In the mountainous regions, they're seeing landslides and slope failures impacting the county-maintained road network, as well as damaging homes and other critical infrastructure. Along the rivers and creeks and drainages, they've experienced flooding in the Soquel businesses and residences in Mid-County and South County. And a lot of people saw on social media the power and impact of the ocean along the coastline. So it's really a widespread impact from these storms over the last week. Number 2. Santa Cruz is spending equally on preparing for the next storm and cleaning up the damage caused by the previous storm. They're trying to do in the cleanup and preparation side is to make sure to the best of their ability that the natural drainage systems and the engineered stormwater systems are clear and ready to try and take this next storm. So they're trying to remove woody debris that may cause more harm or damage to the flooding potential. They're trying to clear the drainage infrastructure so that the storm drains and culverts are clear. And they are trying to get out when they can to assess current damages to the community members ahead of this next storm. Number 3. What happens if the water reaches the floodgates? They're going to be watching the storm in all the creeks and streams, obviously, but the Pajaro and the potential impact there could be very significant. So they're going to be watching as the water levels rise and interact with the very old levee system that they gratefully got funding to have repaired, but that has not been repaired yet. So as those water levels rise Monday evening into early Tuesday, we'll be watching that closely, and well ahead of any of those concerns, they may be issuing evacuation orders. But what they really want to make sure is that they're watching the weather forecasting, and that they have the best available data to make the most informed decisions to keep the community safe. Number 4. Some areas may have evacuation orders. If the weather forecast holds, they will be issuing evacuation orders in most of the low-lying drainages, Soquel Creek, Aptos Creek, the Celso Corralitos Pajaro River, and the San Lorenzo River. But this storm may also cause additional damages in the mountainous regions with additional landslides and slope failures, because the soils are so saturated already. For folks who don't have those resources here locally, they're setting up shelter facilities where they can spend the night if they need to, and cots or a tent environment to try and give them a warm place to be while they're under an evacuation order. Number 5. When is the worst part of the storm expected to hit Santa Cruz? Depending on the hazard, it's most likely going to be most of the day Monday and into Tuesday. The intensity of the rainfall would be the thing that causes slope failures and landslides. The storm has some wind associated with it, and with the volume of rain forecasted, they could see some additional landslides and slope failures throughout the county. The rivers react a little bit slower, so later into the day on Monday and into Tuesday, we'll be watching river levels. Number 6. What is the total approximated damage caused by the storms? Nearly 10,000 residents in Santa Cruz woke up Friday without electricity because of downed power lines, according to data from poweroutage.us. More than 73,000 homes and businesses across the state were in the dark in the early morning. Number 7. Key advices to residents for storm preparations. The best thing to do is to try and stay home, have all of your devices charged, have food that you can prepare for yourself if you're out of power for extended periods of time. Sheltering in place where it's safe to do so is always the best solution. And there are certainly some places where it's not safe to do that. So we'll be asking those folks to try and get out of harm's way.